everybody, Elizabeth here, and today we're going to talk about some not so fun topics, as you can probably tell by the title of this video. But I think it does need to be addressed, and it needs to be talked about in my own life. Like, I need that. So we're going to get into it. But first, little life update. I can talk. Oh, okay. So we're leaving. We're actually going to be hitting the road March 16th. I already put in my last day for that day. We got jobs down there. The trailer is, sorry guys, the road's loud, is hopefully going to be ready for us by then. If not, well, I don't know. I don't even have an answer for that yet. So, today is busy, and I'm probably going to just go through this. This is going to get put up unedited. It's going to be super interesting and fun because I have to get more of my room packed. I have to get the trailer listed. I've got to get the car listed. I mean, there's so much to do in the next 3.5 weeks. It's a little nuts. So, yeah. So, infertility. Let's just hit it and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to get into necessarily exactly why I have in the past struggled with infertility. I'm going to kind of stick to what I'm dealing with now. But I do think that it deserves and kind of requires you to understand a little bit about what happened. So when I got married, I didn't know at the time that I was struggling with a hormone imbalance, but I was. I was so out of touch with my body. I did not understand what was happening with my body, what was going to be happening with my body. I did not understand hormones. I didn't understand how my life choices would affect them. I just didn't know. And because of that, I didn't really know what was happening to my body and why it was wrong or harmful. But I was struggling with a hormone imbalance at that time. I got pregnant on my honeymoon, and I had a miscarriage at 8 weeks, which made the hormone imbalance that was already there significantly worse. And it had been like a major downhill battle from that time on. Now, fast forward 5 years. 5 years. I cut my finger. Total rabbit trail there. Sorry, guys. Fast forward 5 years later, here I am, and I just had my final blood work done. Or not final, but most recent blood work done, and my hormone levels literally look perfect. They're amazing. For the first time in my life, I did not have my doctor come to me and be like, how are you surviving? How are you living right now? Which felt literally amazing. Like, I was so excited because I had the capabilities of losing weight. I had the capabilities of having children. I now had the capability to be a healthy, whole, well-rounded person that I did not have. There's my grandma. She's driving down the road. Sorry. Where was I? Right. To be a happy, healthy, well-rounded human being. And I can't even begin to explain to you what that means to me and how unbelievably excited I was to get those results. But I still can't get pregnant, or I'm not getting pregnant. And so therefore there's something else wrong, right? Except there's nothing wrong with me now. I am overweight, as you can tell, I am sure. If you can't go to the doctor, you need to get your eyes checked. There's nothing wrong with me hormonally. Like, my uterus looks good. Everything looks good according to the doctor. And yet I'm still not getting pregnant. I'm still not having children. And anybody who knows me knows this is my number one. Right? This is what I've always wanted to do with my life. This is who I want to be. I have literally fought for the last 5 years to have kids. And not just to have kids, but to get my hormones balanced and my body ready for kids. And here I am. And I feel like I've made massive, massive progress, but I'm still here. And I know what's happening. I'm pretty sure I know what's happening. And I know what I need to do to just get more connected with my body. And that's something that I cannot explain how thankful I am for this process, because it has allowed me to connect with my body in a way that I never even thought to connect before. I didn't know how, and I didn't really want to. There was no desire, and now I have, and I don't think there's anything that could replace that. When my body is doing this or that or the other thing, I know why now. And I'm not just suffering through it and pretending it doesn't exist, but rather listening to myself and giving self-care and being honest about where I am. Hold on. But what I want to talk about today is not necessarily that side, the medical side, or any of that. I want to talk about the emotional side and what women in my life that have no problem getting pregnant have made me feel like with their words and their actions, and how I believe that has affected my mental well-being, my physical well-being, and my stress levels, and therefore my fertility. Y'all, not being able to get pregnant is hard. And I haven't been trying this whole 5 years. I'll be honest, I haven't. I've just been trying to get healthier the last 5 years and figure out this hormone imbalance and my chronic pain and everything in between, and how that's affecting my body. So it's not like I've been trying this whole time. In fact, there have been large periods of time that I have not been trying at all. In fact, I've been doing the opposite, because I did not feel that I was in a point in my life where getting pregnant would be a wise choice. So the reality, though, is when you go 1 month and you don't get pregnant, it's okay. That's normal. When you go 2 or 3 or 4, it's a little less normal, but it's okay, because that's normal. When you go a whole year, it's not normal anymore. And there's a lot of emotions that come with that I was not expecting. And it wasn't sadness. It was grief, I want to say, for the life that I wanted to lead. Grief for my body, grief for my inability. It's a lot of feelings of being inadequate. There was something wrong with me, that I wasn't good enough, that my body could not do the one thing that a woman's body is supposed to do. It couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And that somehow, in my mind, equated to being less than. And it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating because I'm a go-getter. If I want something, I get it, right? I don't take the word no very easily, and I make things happen that really shouldn't be able to happen. But my biggest hope, my biggest dream, my biggest want, I couldn't make happen. And everything else felt small in comparison. And I've done so many like crazy, amazing things over the last 5 years. I mean, I've done incredible things, and I cannot even begin to express how wonderful the last 5 years are. But right now, in my mind, they're tainted. They're not nearly as grand. They're not nearly as beautiful because I failed. I failed at being able to get pregnant. And it seems like the most basic of all basic things. And that made me change the way I relate to myself, the way I feel about myself, the way I feel about the people around me. It changed everything. And suddenly, rather than being excited for my friends when they were to get pregnant, I was angry and I was jealous and I was sad. And family members. And that's not who I want to be. That's not how I want to feel. And it is constant having to check in, having to choose the way that I feel, having to work through jealousy and anger and hurt in order to be happy for somebody. And that's the worst. Like, there's nothing worse than that in my brain, because I just want to be happy for the people around me when something great happens to them. And I wasn't. And sometimes I'm still not. But I have learned how to choose to be happy. I've journaled, which has been instrumental to my ability to cope. By the way, if you are struggling with infertility, before you do literally anything else, go get a journal. Even if you are not a writer, I'm not a writer, go get a journal, because it's a safe place to be angry, to be hurt, to be jealous, to be anything that you are. Because your husband's going to get it, or your partner, they're going to get it, but they're not going to get it. And your best friend is going to get it, but she's not going to get it. And they're not always safe. Not because they're not a safe person, and not because they're going to judge you or hurt you or any of the above, but because they don't understand. And them not understanding makes you feel more alone, or can make you feel more alone than you did before. And I have spent countless nights crying myself to sleep and being upset and being angry and frustrated because of this one thing that I want that I can't have. And my journal is a safe place. I can work through it. I can cope. It is a beautiful thing. And then I focused on what I can do to get to my goals. What can I do to get to this place where I'm okay, where I am getting what I want, And more than that, how I can be okay with what's happening to me. And I've had so many women who are very fertile and have no issues getting pregnant say things like, well, maybe God doesn't want you to have children, and this is his way of telling you that, and you should just stop trying. Shut the hell up. If you've said that to somebody, shame on you. If you have heard that, I am so sorry. Or it'll happen eventually. Or why don't you pick up any other hobby? Literally any other hobby. Is having a kid a hobby? I don't remember that being a hobby. So how is a hobby going to help me feel better about not being able to have kids? And God doesn't want me to have them, or else he would have given them to me. Like, why do people say these things? I've had weird things going on with my throat. I'm sorry. But why do people say these things? And no matter how absurd they may feel in your mind, they sink in. And I don't know how, because I know how absurd they are. I know how crazy they are. But it doesn't stop it from coming up into my mind when I think about it, or when I'm working for something, or when I'm doing things that suck that I don't want to do, but I need to do. And I think, well, it's not even worth it, because if it was, then God would have done it already. I'm not meant to have kids, so I might as well stop. Like, these things happen. And they have kid after kid after kid, and they're complaining about it. They're complaining about having kids. Like, oh, I'm so tired, or life is so much harder when you have another human. Like, they use it as a badge of honor for how sad they are. And you want to be angry. But that's their experience. That's their experience. And they're allowed to have whatever experience they have. They're allowed to embrace whatever experience they have. And they have to work through their own emotions with their lives, no matter what that might look like and how hard it is for you to cope with. But it is so hard. And fertility is something that I'm going to start talking about on this channel, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and how I did get on this level where I'm not dealing with my hormones being all messed up the way that I was before. And I'll talk about those things, but the point of this video, and the reason I wanted to put it out here before I got into that stuff, is to let you know, if you're struggling with infertility, you are not alone. You are not alone. I understand how hard it is. I understand the sleepless nights and the tears and the anger and the frustration and the grief. I get it. And there are so many women out there who get it. And I'm not going to say that it's going to happen, because I don't know your situation. But what I will say is that it's worth trying. Even if it's hard. Even if it breaks you down. It is worth it. And there is self-care and there's balance. And again, I'll make videos about that. But get a journal. Get a best friend. Get a game plan. Don't give up. And don't let what people say keep you from doing what is best for you, no matter what that may look like. That felt really rambly. I hope it made sense. I hope that it helps somebody out there, even if it only helps one. At least it's helping.